Guys, we are live, All-American Plant and Reptile Expo, Reptile and Plant Expo, Castle Rock. You know the man right here, Robyn Markland. How are you, Robyn?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm real good.
Yeah.
The energy, the attendance here, we were just talking off camera. Anybody that has a narrative that the reptile market is dead or it's failing or anything else, you got to get out, go to a show, see what's actually going on in the world. It's pretty cool to see.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, this show here in Castle Rock in Colorado in particular is one of my favorites. Nick and Troy and their team do a tremendous job.
Yeah.
The facility's really nice. As far as like vendor selection, it's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you got maybe 20%, 25% plant vendors.
Mm-hmm.
And not just, I mean, we have folks in the reptile industry that sell plants. Josh Frog sells plants.
Right.
Folks like that. But here at this show, what's really awesome, and with this series of shows, is they have nurseries.
Yeah.
Right? And boutique nursery spots.
Nice ones.
Nursery RX is a husband and wife team that does really great plants.
Mm-hmm.
The Plant Vault here in Colorado is a family team that, according to my wife, does amazing plants. And I think I spent a bunch of money on there that I'm not aware of.
I think you contributed to their success.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a bunch of plants under my tables at my booth.
Right.
Yeah. It's a surprise every day.
It's the entryway here, if we turn the camera around, is like you're
all
walking
plants.
into a nursery.
Yeah.
And it's set up very, very nicely.
I love that. I was just touring around two friends of mine, brand new to the world.
Yeah.
This was their first show. And so
mine here too.
Yeah, we got to go around and look at the plant vendors, look at the spider vendors were a little bit challenging for them.
Okay.
For the phobias, but we touched snakes. We held some snakes.
Cool.
We talked to folks at Pangea. We talked to Parpart, Husbandry Pro guys.
Yep.
We talked to Altitude Exotics, who's currently at this moment doing a live on Palm Street.
He's crushing it on Palm
Street. Yeah, he's selling animals
from the sales floor
from the show. Yeah, and so I just love the variety of vendors. Right, there are ball python people here. But there are also colubrid people here, and there are frog people here, and lots of plant folks, lots of bug folks, caging folks. We went over to Brace Exotics with my friends, and Byron ran down like how I make these cages and how they work and how racks work and temperature gradients. And that kind of interactive experience is so great, especially for new folks where they're walking in, they're just like, holy cow, what am I getting into? And of course, they had no idea what to expect. And both of my friends had such a great experience. They had just such big smiles.
Yeah.
The vibe here at this show is fantastic. The vibe for me is very good because it's 3 minutes from my house.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
So that's awfully nice. But you know what I heard?
What's that?
The Phoenix show is also this weekend, and I'm hearing that's been a great show. Sacramento show is this weekend. Also hearing a great reports from there. So
Midwest ARS show is this weekend, and I think there's a Pennsylvania, either Hamburg or Gettysburg this weekend too.
Okay, I mean that's a bunch of good size.
It's a big show,
solid shows.
Yep.
And to your point, the market in the industry, ball pythons are still soft.
Yeah. Right.
The pricing's soft. There's abundance of animals out there, but the other segments of the industry, especially on that bioactive side.
Yeah.
We're right down from rubber ducky isopods, and it's Sunday at noon.
Yeah.
And he's sold out of a ton of different isopods because he's crushing it.
Yeah.
So the gecko folks are doing great. Pangea is doing great. Caging and supply folks are doing great. So yeah, ball python folks is a little slower, but
I've heard good sales from the ball python people too.
But the rest of the industry is thriving.
Yeah.
There are some challenges coming up.
Yeah.
With the tariffs and the state of the economy and stuff. We'll have to read and react to that. But yes, again, the vibe is super strong. The spirits are super high. We're having a great turnout here.
Yeah. I like this show because it does so well at quote normalizing reptiles. Like good friend of 30 years is here with me today. He lives here in Highlands Ranch, Colorado. And he's like, man, I got to bring the girls here next time. His daughters.
Yeah.
He's
bring
like,
his kids.
He goes, they're going to love it. We got to do this next time. And that's all we want. That's the start.
Yeah.
We'll figure the rest of it out, but we get the eyes on there.
Have you chatted up the audience about Ed and Emily's day yesterday?
Yeah, we talked about it a lot yesterday. I don't know if some numbers are proprietary, but let's just say several to many thousands of people were through the gate yesterday. I don't know if I'm allowed to say the other stuff. I'll let it be at that. But I saw with my own eyes, it's no exaggeration. Ed and Emily are here, and very strategically and smartly, the line empties onto the sales floor from their room.
So smart.
Yeah.
So yesterday, it was a 5+ hour wait.
Yeah.
To get your meet and greet time with Emily and Ed from Snake Discovery.
And they still didn't get through the line. No, all day.
They had to cut off the line.
They cut off the line and brought them back today.
And all the great setup here is that line of thousands of people then empties out onto the show floor, and then they go and experience the rest of the vendors.
Yeah.
Brilliant setup. But again, I've just been so excited lately about what folks like Ed and Emily are doing in bringing new, young reptile fans, enthusiasts, keepers, hobbyists into our hobby. It makes a tremendous difference. I'm so supportive and so excited about what those guys are doing, bringing all those fresh faces. And some of those folks will be pet keepers.
That's right. But I think it's
totally fine.
I think it's foolish to dismiss the pet keepers.
Some of those will evolve into being collectors.
That's how the dreams
Some
start.
will be into hobbyists.
Yep.
Some of them will evolve into being breeders.
Yep.
And you know what's going to happen? 5, 6, 7 years from now, people in that line from Ed and Emily are going to be vendors on this floor.
Here.
Yeah.
And
selling their geckos, selling their spiders.
You saw it firsthand with Nick. How long have you known Nick? That's the promoter here at the show.
Nick Sloan, the promoter of the show. I've known him since he was at least an early teenager.
Yeah.
I don't know if I knew him when he was 12 years old.
Hanging out at the old shop, seeing him grow, mentoring him.
When we were breeding animals.
Yeah.
Him and his brother would come and hang out all the time.
Yeah.
I've known them since they were kids. Now they're tremendous young men. They've both got families and kids of their own, which doesn't make sense a lot of times how time flies.
Yeah.
But now I think he's one of the most innovative and creative promoters in the business.
Yep.
And I love it. Yep. But I'd love to see that evolution. Right?
Yeah, and it's here.
It's all about the evolution,
in the reality
right in front of us.
Yeah.
It's a living, evolving hobby.
Yeah.
So it's so fantastic. Yeah. If you haven't been to the Denver/Castle Rock show, Castle Rock is 15 minutes south of Denver.
Yeah.
I consider it part of the Denver metro area. It's not the biggest show of the year. It's not Tinley.
Yeah.
It's not even Dallas. But it's one of the best shows of the year.
Yeah.
And I always appreciate that you come out and make the travel and make the trip to come out. Ed and Emily are making the trip to come out. We've got people that have driven in from Vegas.
Yep.
People coming from California. This show is not the biggest, but it's one of the best.
Yep.
And I think it's well worth making the trip just to come hang out for the weekend, even if you're not in the immediate Colorado area.
Yeah.
This is a great show.
And if you can get, even just logistically, it's not my favorite airline. I actually am not on it this time, but even something cheap like Frontier and Southwest gets you in. I did fly Southwest, so it's really accessible.
Southwest.
Yeah, Frontier.
Southwest is not Frontier, my friend.
No, I know. I'm saying it's accessible.
It's not Spirit Airlines.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Yeah.
Okay, we don't want to get ourselves in trouble with
Get
the
on
airlines.
Southwest.
Yeah, take Southwest in, and it's a nice trip. So,
yeah.
Robyn, we would be remiss. I know that you just get out and you do the thing, but your team is killing it. Your team is always killing it. They're accessible by phone. They're accessible for the support. They respond. They have a great response to challenges and to inquiries, and it doesn't even have to be challenges that they respond to. I just got to give you cheers and kudos on that. I saw AJ yesterday, and it's always a pleasure to work with your team and you guys.
Yeah, I do have a great team.
You do.
I love my team.
Yeah.
They make the whole engine work, right? I can't speak enough about it. I think we provide the best customer service and the best experience in the business.
Yep.
That's always been my priority back to my Shipping Reptiles days. I take a lot of pride in that, but it's really not me. I try and lead.
Yeah.
But it's my team that does it. They're always, they're so fantastic. Yeah.
So as always, pass on my thanks to the team. What are you excited for this afternoon? What do you still have to go do here at the show?
I've got a list of conversations I got to have.
Yeah. Okay.
Just to try and catch up with folks.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, when we're headed home, inevitably I'll find 6 other people that I didn't get to connect with.
Right.
It's always a challenge to try and hit your whole bullet point
That's
list for the weekend, but I'll do my best. I really, I like at this particular show, I like to have conversations with the nursery folks.
Yeah.
Because again, they're not reptile people selling plants here.
Yeah.
They're plant nerds, like they're plant people. And I just find that really fascinating. So I always want to understand the logistics of what other people do.
Yeah.
Right. And there's a lot of parallels with plants and reptiles. So I'd like to chat them up about not breeding their plants, but propagating their plants, selling their plants. I'd love to talk about shipping plants, how that works. What I really like about this particular show was a lot of these plant folks have been to like a plant show.
Yeah.
But it was never like this.
Yeah, this is really integrated. It's not like plants are over there and reptiles there. You got reptiles there, plant here, reptiles, bugs, isopods.
But what they say is like, once we started doing this show here last year, when they first started coming, they're like, I didn't know anything like this existed.
Right, yeah.
Like what you guys do on this reptile show thing is amazing.
Yeah.
And because plant shows I think are smaller and quieter and more subdued. And here there's just lots of action, there's lots of noise, there's lots of people. And I mean, they're getting so much more interaction with our environment of a reptile show. And so I'd love to get that kind of feedback. And again, I talked about this recently in our Epic Talks. I'm always looking for takeaways.
Yeah.
Right. So even I've been to this show. This is the third time for the show. But yeah, I want to talk to vendors. I want to interact with people and see if there are a couple takeaways I can take away from the show that can help me be better and make my business better.
Any aha moments this year on the takeaway?
I mean, I've had some good conversations. Nothing spectacular yet. That's the goal this afternoon.
Okay, cool.
I mean, one of the things we talked about and challenges with my new friends in their first show is, again, I get to try and better understand the phobia issue.
That's true.
Right?
How do we remove those hurdles, that friction?
Yes, we did touch snakes for the first time. So that was something. But the spider phobia was a step too far.
Okay, yeah, baby steps, right?
Yes. And so, that kind of takeaway to your point, like, how can we conquer those phobias?
Right.
How do we use language and verbiage to soften the edges and make it seem like keeping spiders or keeping inverts is more accessible, less scary. So I find value there.
Yeah. I mean, even if it's not, you have to get a spider. Right. Oh, hey, that's kind of cool that people have the spiders. Yeah.
And for us, on the shipping side, for Redline Shipping, those kind of experiences actually translate into how we can interact with our customers. Mm-hmm. We work with a lot of first-time shippers. Yeah. And so to better understand where they're coming from, what their concerns and fears are, that has value. So those are some takeaways from this particular weekend is getting a fresh look at how a neophyte or newbie person views what we do. Right. Views the snakes, views the spiders. Yeah. So those things are really interesting to me. I love to look at those as problems and, what are going to be the solutions and opening our arms and welcoming people in, making them feel welcome, but also making them feel comfortable. Right. Yeah. Right.
I don't think we can expect new people to come in and buy $5,000 animals. There's going to be a process. There's the Ed and Emily's bringing in families and pets. There's us bringing our friends. There's my old buddy who's saying, I'm going to bring my daughters. It's a process. It's a foundation that gets built. Yep. We got a live within it's an inception of lives. How about that? Robyn, thank you so much for the time. Thanks for the hospitality. Thanks, it's always a pleasure. Thanks for what you do for this industry. Cheers. Thank you very much. Thanks. See you guys soon. Back on Tuesday night, full show wrap up. Might have some special guests. Might be solo. Redline Shipping. See you guys.